a rock. We don't think much about your average everyday rock. But in 1 Samuel, something just like this is used to do a very miraculous thing. Now, we all know about the story about David and Goliath. But there, to me, is a story inside the story. See, David was a shepherd. He was anointed by God. And he heard about what was going on with Saul's army and this great Philistine army. So he came down to help. He left his flock to help. And when he gets there, he's rejected. He's pretty much told, yeah, you're a kid. You don't belong here. This is men work. Go back to your sheep. But he says, no. He puts three of these stones, into his bag, and he approaches this Philistine, this giant Philistine, Goliath. In verse 44 through 45, the Philistine also said to David, come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the sky and the beasts of the field. Then David said to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. Whoa, pause. Giant, huge Philistine soldier with a sword, a spear, and a javelin, and he's got a rock. How much faith is that? That's huge faith. He had no doubt in his mind that it didn't matter what he had, he would prevail because God was with him. And this continues on. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have taunted. He's not hearing it. He's like, look, I have God. You can have whatever you want. You can have a nuclear weapon. Doesn't matter. I have God and a stone, and that's all I need. In verse 49 through 50, it kind of climaxes. And David put his hand into his bag and took from it a stone and slung it and struck the Philistine on his forehead. And the stone sank into his forehead so that he fell on his face to the ground. Thus David prevailed over the mighty Philistine with a sling and a stone. A sling and a stone. And he struck the Philistine and killed him, but there was no sword in David's hand. He didn't need one. He didn't even need a stone, really. He had God. And that's all he needed. He knew that's all he needed. As Christians today, this is something we need to remember. It doesn't matter what we think, the limitations we put on ourselves. God can do anything. If he can use a stone to defeat a mighty giant soldier through the hands of a tiny shepherd, he can do absolutely anything through us. We don't need to limit ourselves. We need to put our faith in God and what God can do. He is much more powerful than anything in this world. Just try to remember that stone. I keep one on my coffee table as a reminder. Thank you and God bless.